Welcome to this week's Word of Hope from the Scriptures. I'm Roxanne Eilers, and today I'm going to be talking about the second stage of a dream. Last week we talked about the first stage of a dream, and there's 5 stages, and I would like to look at each one, and it's going to be a couple of weeks we'll go through. Well, last week we talked about the first stage of a dream, which is the birth of a dream. And we are using Joseph's dreams as an example of what his dreams went through in order for them to be accomplished. And so we're in Genesis chapter 37. Joseph had 2 dreams, and they were very real dreams to him. Prophetic dreams, I should say. And God placed within his heart these dreams and visions of what his future was going to be. His brothers were going to be serving him, bowing down to him. So those were his dreams, and he must have been so excited about it. And so let's see what happens. Well, as it goes, Jacob, Joseph's father, sent Joseph to go check on his brothers. Joseph had 11 brothers, and they were tending sheep. So Joseph went to go check on them to see how they were doing, because sometimes they wouldn't do their job right and they'd sleep on the job. Well, as Joseph was coming towards his brothers, they began to speak amongst themselves, and they decided to kill him because they were very angry with him. They hated him because of his dreams, and they said, "We'll see what happens to his dreams now." So as Joseph came closer, they grabbed him. And then they changed their mind, though. They threw him into a pit. And they thought, yeah, let him just perish in the pit. And then they changed their minds again when a Midianite caravan was coming through the desert on their way to Egypt. And they said, let's sell Joseph. At least we'll get some money for him. So they sold Joseph to the Midianite caravan. And then they took Joseph's coat of many colors, and they put the blood of an animal on there and told their father that Joseph had been devoured by an animal. Well, here was Joseph, now on his way to Egypt. And what do you think he was thinking? He was probably wondering, God, where are you? How could you let this happen? Here I am, you gave me these dreams that my brothers would be serving me, and here I am, I'm a slave. Well, Joseph was taken to Egypt, and he was sold to Potiphar, who was one of Pharaoh's officials. And so he became a servant in Potiphar's household. And here was Joseph. He was a servant instead of being served. So what happened to his dreams? His dreams had to die, and that's the second stage of a dream, the death of a dream. And all our dreams that God gives us in our hearts, the vision that He gives us for our life, at one point has to die, has to be put on the shelf, because God is doing something, and He's working in preparing us and preparing the fulfillment of the dream. And so the death of a dream, we need to die to ourselves in our own effort in bringing the dream to pass. And in John chapter 12, verse 24, Jesus says, unless a seed fall into the ground and die, it abides alone. But if it falls in the ground and dies, it brings forth much fruit. And so, with us, our dream must fall into the ground, because when it is resurrected, it will bring forth much fruit. So if you're in that stage where your dream seems like it's never going to come to pass, take heart, be patient, because God is still working. And even if it's on the shelf, it will be taken down off of that shelf. So hang in there. And remember that surely goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.